I'm very excited to be here to talk about the community beta of BLOCKLORDS. So let's not waste any time. I know we all want to play. So let's go ahead and register an account and get started. Once you've registered your account with an email or social logins, all you got to do is connect the wallet of your choice. And as soon as you've done that, you can go and claim your free hero on Polygon. Once you got your hero, you go to the download page and you click on download now, and everything should be downloading smoothly. While the game's downloading, head over to the profile. In the profile, you'll be able to see your hero. If you can't see your hero, it might mean that you're connected to the wrong chain. BLOCKLORDS currently supports Immutable X and Polygon. Make sure that the hero you just got is the one you're connected to. Make sure you're connected to the right chain. And then it's as easy as clicking import hero and send your heroes over to the game. This is a very quick process. You can give it a try later on. Importing and exporting heroes out of the game is very smooth, and it's a feature we're very happy with. All right, BLOCKLORDS is downloaded and ready to go. Now all you got to do is log in with the same email you just registered on the website, and you'll be able to get going. The world's essentially been wiped out by a terrible plague, and you've got to rebuild. So here we have our beautiful map, and in the community beta, we're going to have 50 different regions. Each region will be controlled by a lord or a lady. Each ruler, as we call them, will have different tax rates set. Lords and ladies can set the tax rates of their region. Once you're ready, pick out the region that's best for you and click on Settle Farm. You'll be taken to your very own farm. So, we're still experimenting with the controls for the camera. Using a pretty simple WASD setup for now. You'll be able to move around with your WASD keys. You'll be able to use your mouse. We're obviously going to be adding hotkeys over time. For now, we'd love to hear your feedback about how the controls can be improved. Definitely there's a lot of work to do on the scrolling and the zooming in and out. So that's a key focus. But yeah, look at it. This is your farm. It's a beautiful little farm. And the first thing you want to do is control your squads. Squads are essentially your units, right? They perform different tasks, and you can send them to pick wood. You can send them to collect food. You can send them to collect stones. So kind of like basic menial work. Your squad will do it for you. Start with that. Basically send your squad to pick some wood. This is all about teaching you how to play the game. We're not too focused on the maximizing the output for now. One key thing here is that completing tutorial missions will grant you might. Might in our game is close to something like XP. It's how you upgrade your rank inside of the game and how you gain a bigger status. So as you can see, after you finish the first squad mission, your next mission is to upgrade your status. And I want you to keep that in mind, because upgrading your status is really a very important part of the game. It's how you become more respected in the game. It's how you become more respected within your region. Later on, we're going to add a lot of features regarding status that are going to essentially make your gameplay more interesting and progressive over time. And having higher status will allow you to get more responsibilities from your lords and ladies. So I strongly suggest you keep an eye on status, and that you always make sure that your status is updated. Because later on in the game, there will be times where maybe you can't build a certain building or you can't recruit a certain squad, and most likely it's due to you not having reached the right level of status yet. Once you've upgraded your status, you're going to want to recruit new squads, right? You started with one villager squad, so we're going to recruit some builders. Builders are going to allow you to build new buildings. New buildings are obviously how you unlock different types of features, different types of resources, different types of squads within the game. So you definitely want to have at least one squad of builders that make sure that you can get your new buildings done. One fun fact about builders, they can also create tools. Tools are huge, right? They're what you use to essentially create anything or process any type of resource. So once you've got your builders, you definitely want to build a lumber mill. Lumber mill is going to allow you to recruit lumberjacks, and lumberjacks can get that wood in way, way, way faster than villagers. You know, villagers are just picking by hands. You know, they're not that great. You know, you're going to get some branches, but you're not going to get like full-on logs. We want them logs. We want the logs. That's what we want. We want logs. If you want to get logs, you got to get the lumberjacks, and the lumberjacks got the axes. The axes will get you what you need in terms of wood. So here we go. I've got my lumberjack squad. I've recruited it. Recruiting squads costs gold. All right, gold is a vital resource. We're obviously working a lot on the balancing of gold, but just for now, no, gold is really important. It's how you get things done. You know, hard work will only get you so far. So we got some squads, but now we need heroes. Heroes, you know how heroes work, because we just got one, right? You just claimed one for free on Polygon. Heroes are essentially commanders for your squads. You want to make sure that the hero you imported earlier is now added to one of your squads. That's the main mission right here, right? Now, maybe you forgot, you didn't follow my previous instructions, you didn't actually import your hero. Well, now's the time, man. Pull up your phone, tab out, you know, tab out, tab in, go into the website, and now's the time to import your hero. You know, we ain't got all day, you got to do it now. Once your hero's in, you're going to see a significant stat boost. All right, so that mission's cleared. We all know you got heroes. Well done. So here you can see right away that you've got a buff. Okay, enough talking. We've got the hero, we've got the squad, but we're going to need more squads. We need some stone up in here, all right? Stone is really an important resource. In order to mine stone more efficiently, we're going to need miners, right? And to get miners, we need to build a mine. So let's start by building the mine, and let's recruit some miners, all right? You can send your miners to the mine, and you can get rocks. Same way you're able to get wood from the lumberjacks, the miners will do a fine job of retrieving some of them stones for you. We got our first event. All right, when you get an event, you'll be able to choose from different options. Later on, some options will affect your heroes, others won't. The different types of events will not only, you know, allow you to create a fun little story around your hero and your squads, but also essentially give you different benefits and advantages or disadvantages inside of the game and on your farm. But we need some food up in here, because farming is extremely important inside of the game. It's how you get food. As we're going to see in a minute, food is extremely important as a resource. So be sure to build your very first wheat field. The wheat field is where you're going to be growing wheat, right? Once you've built the field, you've got to choose how to cultivate the wheat. Essentially, you can choose the seed, the fertilizer, and the type of plow you want to use. Different settings will produce different yield ranges. And yeah, it's really up to you. Do you want to spend a bit more up front and get more wheat, or do you want to spend less and get less wheat? That's really up to you as a player. Of course, your farmer stats will also affect how the outcome is. And essentially, yeah, now you're ready to farm. Your farmers are going. You've recruited some farmers. I think I'm running out of tools. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a forge. Oh, but I can't build a forge unless I upgrade my status. Remember, I was telling you earlier, you got to upgrade your status. If you don't have good status, you can't build the buildings you need to build. I've upgraded my status, and now I'm ready to build a forge. All right, so we're going to build our forge. So what you can do if you run out of tools and you're stuck, or if you run out of food and you're stuck, you can go to the marketplace and you can buy some for gold. Remember, I told you gold was important. This is why. When you need resources, you can always go to the marketplace and get some. But be careful. Don't just spend it all on something you don't need, because there's a daily limit for how much you can buy of each resource. For now, this limit is fixed, but we're definitely going to be doing a lot of work in the coming months where this is more dynamic and more based on user demand, which essentially makes also your selling of these resources more valuable. We're going to be doing a lot of work on that, but for now, know that you need to be careful with which resources you buy and sell, because there's a daily limit If you run out of your daily limit, that's fine. You can check back in tomorrow. In 24 hours, you'll be able to claim again, or to exchange. You'll be able to exchange gold for that resource again. Now that you've gotten some food, you can send your squad to the foreman house to rest. Your squad resting will grant you more stamina. All right, now that you have more stamina, you can build more tools. And tools we really need, right? So be sure to get some tools. Again, if you run out of tools, you can always go to the market, but you want to try to make sure you don't fully run out of tools, because that will slow your progress down. If you change your resources into gold, you'll have a little bit more to work with when you do run out of something else. So again, you want to be smart with your resources. The resource meta is really a big part of farming in BLOCKLORDS, and I strongly suggest you work on maximizing how you work with these. All right, so we're going to speed up the game a little bit. As you can see, the next mission is to build a windmill, so we want to make sure that we have enough of the resources required. Whenever you find yourself stuck for the next mission, you got to focus on resources. You got to keep working until you have enough resources to build the next thing on your list. So here we have the windmill, which is very large in this version, but will be optimized in the future. The windmill is where you turn your wheat into grain, and grain is a kind of like a superfood, right? So you want to make sure that you process your wheat into grain, because that'll unlock a lot of different food options for you as you grow your rank. In order to process food, cooks are the main squad type to process food. But if you want more squads, you need houses, because we got squad limits. BLOCKLORDS has squad limits. And in order to recruit more squads, you do need houses. So be sure to build a house. Once you've got your house, you can recruit cooks. Cooks will help you refine everything you need into food. So the house is a very important part of the game. You're going to be able to have up to 3 houses in your first region. Again, a reminder that more regions will be unlocked after the community beta. Right now, we want to make sure that all the core features, all the core systems are working properly. Then we will expand with a lot more content, a lot more regions, a lot more buildings, etc. All right, once you're in the windmill, you can choose to refine your wheat if that's what you want to do. That'll grant you better grain output, but will have a higher upfront cost. Remember, all the settings, all the advanced settings can be configured by clicking on any building. Sometimes you may want to go with a bit of higher cost, but then you want to take it down. So be sure to check your settings often. Make sure that it makes sense for you, whatever setting you're going with. But here we go. The cooks are essentially going to create grain out of your wheat, right? And this is a pretty important task in the game. Grain will have a lot of uses inside the game as we move forward. All right, so we don't have enough wood to build a granary, so let's pick some up in the market. Remember, you can always go to the market. And now let's build a granary. Let's build a granary. All right, at the granary, the cooks can also turn grain into food, right? So now you've got grain. Grain is actually a higher value for your food than wheat is. So it's worth turning your wheat into grain just for that reason. As our farm's growing, we've got more units now. We've got several cooks. We've got several villagers. It's time to build another house. We've got that food production going. It's starting to get crowded in this village. So I think one more house is going to be good. Now that we have so many squads, we really want to take food production to the next level. Hunters are going to help a lot with that, right? Hunters can find animals, they can turn them into meat, meat can be turned into food, right? So let's build a hunting lodge. Let's build a hunting lodge and get some hunters, because the hunters, they're pretty OP, they're pretty buff. We launched a hunter hero collection recently. You can get your hunters, you can assign them to your squad. That'll obviously give a bit of a stat boost to your heroes as well. So remember, you can always assign heroes to your squads. You can always move your hero from one squad to another. Heroes are really key. All right, well, we got some hunters. Let's send them to the forest. Let's catch some meat, catch some food. Oh yeah, we got some meat here. All right, we got some meat. And we're gonna be deboning it. You can always take your meat that you've earned and you can debone it and turn it into food, right? The hunters are the resource that does the hunters are the squad that does that. We all like milk. Do you like milk? I like milk. Milk is great. milk is really everything. I've devoted a lot of time to milk and cheese. And the cow pen is where you get cows. And cows are the animals that the cow herds milk to get some milk. First, you got to choose what cow you want. Different types of cows will have different milk outputs. Great. Now you got to choose what to feed the cow. Different types of fodder will have different results on the cow. You can see my cow is just growing. My cow is getting old. It's really beautiful. It's beautiful when the cow really just gets older like that. It's important to note that cows have a maximum usage. You know, after a while, they can't milk anymore. So what you can do is you can slaughter your cow anytime. So in order to make bread, we need a bakery. Once you've built your bakery, you can send your cooks and you can turn it into bread. All right, bread, brioche bread in this specific instance, where you take milk and you take grain, you make some epic milk and some epic bread. You make some epic. Bread is just a huge source of food. It's amazing. We all love our bread. And clearly you've now made it through. You've made it through the tutorial. Congratulations, my friend. You have made it through the tutorial. You are now a legend. You're part of the community beta. You're in it. You have done everything you needed to do, and you're now part of the elite. Well, not quite yet. We actually have more. We have more for you. So you did the tutorial, awesome. You've learned the basics of resources, awesome. Well, now, starting May 10th, with this community beta, we're going to have the season missions. And the season missions is for the community beta players only. You're going to have a chance to essentially play the game, keep doing daily missions, keep doing weekly missions, and keep doing season missions, complete the missions, earn XP, and then you will win the very first Legacy Militia heroes, okay? This is no joke. This is not a drill. We're all ready for fighting. Community beta was a lot about farming. We've got battle stuff coming. Learn how to farm, okay? Farming is going to be extremely important in order to, maximize your output. Like, you got to know how to farm. That said, for those of you waiting for battles, it will come. Getting this Legacy Militia hero is your first step, and you need to get on it. All right? That's it for me. I'm so thankful to be working on this game. I'm so thankful to the team who's made this game possible. And yeah, this is our dream game. We're so happy to have you on board as a community member. And we want you to play this game. We want you to give us your feedback. How do we make it better? How do we make it more challenging? What types of missions would you like to see? What types of controls would you like to see? Tell us. We're here for you. And we can't wait to show you what else we're working on in the background with this game. Thank you. David out. BLOCKLORDS.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you enjoyed that wonderful intro from our Lord Dave. I think Dave might have been hungry that day. He was very excited about the bread and about the milk. So he's now our resident milkman. I'm gonna do a quick intro to the space. There's a lot of news today, a lot of exciting things, a lot of giveaway announcements, stuff that you guys are really going to get excited about. But I'm not going to keep muttering on about it. We'll go through. I'm going to bring up, first I'm going to bring up David. Here he is. And then Nikki, when you're here, just give me a wave and we'll bring you up as well. So here he is, David Johansson. And Nikki.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from the milkman himself. I quite like that name. Also a big fan of milk, and yeah, we're making it a superfood in BLOCKLORDS, so very happy to be here.
Amazing.
Hi, good day to all community members and to all the people who is watching this streaming. I'm Nikki. Nice to meet you.
I think, just for context, a lot of people here will have been here before. There may be some new people. I know there's some people here from partner communities and such. So if you guys can just give yourselves an intro. These guys are our founders. They're very fun, very energetic. So if you just give us like a little bit of your background, give us a spiel, introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into some more game stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm David. I'm a CEO and founder of Meta King Studios. Been in games for the last 10 years. Worked in Hollywood before that in film. So I've always been into creative things, always been into interactive media, so to say. And yeah, the journey for BLOCKLORDS began 5 years ago when I discovered crypto and just fell in love with it, fell in love with community sentiment, fell in love with trading, fell in love with the tech. Essentially, everything about crypto just made sense to me. And combining it to game has kind of been a passion since then. So in I think it was late 2017, early 2018, I convinced Nikki to start the studio, and we got to work on BLOCKLORDS. It's obviously been a lot of ups and downs during this journey. The game, there were only 5 of us in the beginning. The team is now over 50, and it's just been a really crazy journey. And yeah, I'll cede the floor to Nikki, who also has a great background.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so basically, hi guys, I'm Nikki, and as some of you may know, or if you first met me, so basically I stepped into the game industry beginning from 2014, 2015. And then basically, just working in the top tier studio here in China, like Yozu or some of the other gaming studios, making a lot of games. That's basically when I met, David, and we begin to work closely with many successful projects. And then 2018, it's like David tell me, hey, Nikki, I discovered Bitcoin, I discovered, NFTs, and then let's do our own studio and let's make our own dream game, which is BLOCKLORDS, right? And then we begin to have the 2D version. Sometimes maybe you can still find some track on Google or somewhere. At that time we just 5 people, as David said, in a bunker, and we make our own prototype game. It's pretty fun in experiences. And basically, we already have the prototype idea at that time. It's like you can play as a medieval lord or medieval knight, and you can basically have your own land. You can, development. You can battle with other player. And if you are a lord, you control a city. Then you can basically get taxes from other player, and you can build the city with other player. And this type of grand strategy game is basically our dream game. And here we are. We want to make this come true.
Amazing. What a great intro. The chat's been very good. Sam, prove it's live. The hand on the head. I'm not going to go and get a shoe. Cool. So I thought the first thing that would be good for new users, I know a bunch of you will have heard this before, and we will move on to the community stuff and you guys next. But for new users, new people coming in, remember you can go to blocklords.com, you can register, and you can get yourself a free hero, which means you can play in the community beta for free. They're going to be Polygon farmers. But I'd love to hand it over to the both of you to just talk us through the game. Give us the pitch, tell us why BLOCKLORDS is special, and kind of what the vision was for you guys as we got to this point.
Yeah, so I think it comes from a number of different sources and influences. But first off, I've always been a big strategy game fan, essentially. I think I picked up the first Total War game. I don't know if it was the first medieval or the second medieval. No, it was definitely the first medieval. Yeah, I was young, and just the idea of just controlling armies and going on battle, that was epic. First off, seeing thousands of troops on the battlefield, and then being able to actually be a politician, and forge alliances and actually rule kingdoms and do different sets of policies. So essentially, I had a lot of fun with the macro and the micro of these types of games. And obviously also played Age of Empires when that came out. So all the Command and Conquer games. So I was a big RTS fan. And yeah, so essentially grew up with a lot of these games, always fascinated by them, always interested in them. And then when the MMO wave kind of hit in the early 2000s, I was a teenager then, and I wasn't quite into MMORPGs, but I love this idea of online gaming. But I always felt, even young as a gamer, I always felt it's too bad there's no like strategy game that really captures that MMO vibe of building kingdoms and then falling kingdoms together, right? So I felt I wanted the MMO experience, but I didn't want, or essentially I wanted it, but not just for the battle part. I wanted it for the politics, for the scheming, for the economy. And back then there wasn't much. I mean, Eve now in retrospect was one of the leaders for the economy side of things, but that wasn't a huge thing when I was actually at that age. So yeah, long story short, kind of moved away, but that was always my dream game, was really an MMO that lets you feel both the lower sides of life from being in a medieval world, like being a farmer and grinding and kind of just surviving, to being a warrior or a king at the top. And so I think then when I got into games myself, in the early 2010s, and started working on free-to-play games, there was a lot that made sense for free-to-play gaming of like, okay, yeah, users should try games for free. So that made sense right away. And the economic models for free-to-play games were very interesting. But then I saw something wrong when I was in that industry, which was you have these companies that are trying to get a lot of users and they're paying a lot to acquire these users. But then once the users actually join the game, the studio's really only goal is to monetize those users as much as possible. Instead of actually focusing on the user experience for everyone, they would just focus on the user experience for the whales who would actually spend money. And so to me, that didn't really make sense, like both from a gamer perspective, because as a gamer, nobody wants to be kind of like not taken seriously, right? And then from the whale perspective, right, the person who spends a lot of money, well, they're essentially just being seen as a target by the game devs. And so there was a lot about free-to-play gaming that I felt was off, and that caused a lot of issues and disaligned incentives. And so even before I discovered crypto, I became interested in like, okay, what if there was like a game economy that was actually built in a way where, okay, maybe the free players enter, but instead of paying $3 to $5 to $50 sometimes for user acquisition costs to an agency or to essentially a marketing company, why don't we find a way so that they can earn, or they can actually get some value out of the game, maybe out of the more high level players in the game who are willing to spend in the game in order to get more powerful, or in order to maybe compete for prize pools, or for whatever reasons they want to spend. So essentially I had this dream of like, or this, yeah, you could say, you call it fantasy, but back then it really was a fantasy. There was no reality to it, of creating like a more sustainable, equitable in-game economy, essentially. So then when I discovered Bitcoin and crypto, and I saw that, okay, now there's a value layer actually outside of the game that's not entirely decided by the game devs themselves, because as a game dev you can't really enforce that entirely yourself. You need like a secondary market that's liquid, essentially. That's a very important part of Web3 that's lacking in other Web2 game studios and game projects. But yeah, this is me rambling, but essentially, long story short, I saw an opportunity with BLOCKLORDS and with Web3, and combining gaming with Web3, to essentially create a real MMO strategy game where users would be incentivized depending on what they contributed to the economy and to the game, whether it be time, money, effort, or skill, essentially. So that's my spiel, but Nikki can go into his reasons.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, like you said, basically, I agree with one point with you, David. Is like, well, when we began to work together in those companies, and we made some pretty successful free-to-play game. But the problem I also saw is like many players, either you spending a lot of time or you spend a lot of money inside of the game. But when there's patches update, or unfortunately the game just the publisher or the game studio just decide, okay, maybe we should shift the focus to other project, and then what player gained in the game actually become so to say a waste, or like it's like doesn't really mean anything. So we saw a lot of this kind of cases, and for me, I always think we should create something that player can actually spend their energy, spending their time, spending their money in the game, but in results they really earn something, right? And then the Web3 game, I think the philosophy is one really core part is the ownership, and this is what we do with BLOCKLORDS. Is basically the hero you own is the core in-game assets you own. It's actually an NFT, and you can play the game, and you can develop your character, you can develop your farm, but you always own your core assets, which is your hero, and you can always export to whatever blockchain you like. This is what we do, right? It's also a tech that I am pretty proud of, right? So so we saw the problem. And also, I am also a very hardcore strategy game fan. From Total War to Age of Empire, and also Civilization. Those kind of strategy game is basically one of my favorites. I'm more like the player who really like to farming. I don't really like battle with other player because I'm really not good at PvP gameplay. Those like FPS game or mobile game, I'm really not good at. But it comes to strategy game, you can step back, you can plan how you're gonna attack, how you can decide the formation of your squads, and then you battle with other players. That type of gameplay, I will always feel I can do better on that. And also, I'm a huge player when I play those strategy game. I always like farming. I always like develop my own land, planning my village or planning my city, like the city theme, right? So this is definitely one of my favorite. But when we do our, of course, in previous companies, like when we still haven't started our own studio, those games sort of like, we call it SLG games, right? Those free-to-play games. They are more like, the purpose is basically, kind of, free to play. You know how it is. It's basically, try to drain your pockets, right? And you always lack of resources, and then the game begin to track you to buy different resources pack. That kind of game is, it will dead very fast. In the end, only the top players remain, and then we gonna, maybe the game company gonna begin to open new servers and begin to do another round of user acquisition, and so on, and just remaining forever that loop. That's something I really don't like. And when we have the chance to do our own project, we just want to make like a ultimate online grand strategy game, combined with the medieval theme, and also the farming system. Everyone can run their own farm, and then everyone can contribute to the city. And there is some ruler. The top player, they can become different class. They can have different gameplay style, and they can become the ruler. But although you are a ruler, you still need to work for your for your region members, right? For your farmers, to try to make them have a better life, have a better yield. So that's the game we want to make, and I think also inspiration points from my side. So I think that's really really fun to make BLOCKLORDS, and long-term goal is really to make this really epic, and hope the community could like it, and we can both, I would say, both try to have Web2 player and also Web3 players, because Web3 player they love the valuable layer, but Web2 player is also like our focus, who really like strategy game, who really like battle game, and we hope everyone can just build BLOCKLORDS with us together. Yeah.
Amazing. What a beautiful introduction. Thanks for that, guys. We're going to get into it a little bit. So thought it'd be nice for us to just show some highlights and kind of what we're doing. Obviously, this is the first version of the game that we're releasing. It's very community focused. We are putting together something that we want to build together with you guys, but this is just some stuff that we're really proud of. So top collection IMX, 140k almost banners that have been minted, 12K heroes altogether. We've got our amazing investors that are in here. Shout out to all of these guys. Our investors are absolutely integral in what we do, and they give us great support. There's going to be a load of campaigns going out this week across a bunch of them that you'll recognize. So keep out if you want to win some higher tier NFTs. The video is great. There's Rose, our top selling hero. We've hit the press. We've done very well in the press for a Web3 game. So just wanted to shine a little light on that and say how proud we are, and well done to the team, and well done to David and Nikki, and to Dane, our Lord of Growth, and to Medet. There's been a really great fun in-house. So personally, thank you from us, and thank you for the team. I want to thank you guys on behalf of everyone else, because you're always thanking us. Cool. So obviously this is community beta, right? There's a word on screen here that I know a lot of you are looking for. This is going to come up a few times, so I know the chat's been asking. So why community matters? What I wanted to get into a little bit is kind of why we decided to really focus on the community, and why it's important for you to hear what the community think. I think it's kind of been something through, not to use the Web 2 gamers, Web 3 gamers thing, but a lot of people have kind of been looking for this opportunity to get involved in the development process of franchises that they're interested in. And I think Web3 is really something that brings that forward. So if you can touch base on this and kind of talk about what community means to you, and obviously it means so much to BLOCKLORDS, and we're thankful for you all to be here. So yeah, I'll hand the mic over.
Yeah, I think first off, I think that is something we've seen in Web3 coming out of the whole movement, essentially, is really placing a lot more focus on community, being more transparent with plans, showing dev updates, really showing the features that we're working on. And this is something that, I think both for me and Nikki, coming from the Web 2 world, can be a bit difficult at times, because our opinion before was always, never show anything, because, we might change designs, we might change, we might cancel some features, we might do this, we might do that. So as a game designer, sometimes you're a bit hesitant to actually show things. And what we've realized over the last few years, both with Seascape Network, which is our infrastructure solution for scalable NFT and DeFi gaming, and then with BLOCKLORDS now, is really the more we share, the better the decisions we can make are. And then what we've realized is when we do have to make some changes, or when we do have to change some features or rebalance certain resources, such as tools and milk, which we all know is very scarce. Although there's plenty of milk, but tools are quite hard to get by in the game. But essentially anything that we need to change, we're shifting our strategy to be quite transparent with it, and to let the community play it and give us their feedback. That was really a lot of reasoning behind the community beta. So for those of you who did play the soft launch for the last 2 weeks, I think you can all see the improvement, where we were essentially pushing a new update every 2 or 3 days based on the feedback, based on the bugs that were being tested. And so that's something where we've actually shifted our thinking over the last few years. And that we can see directly now, especially with this launch today, that we're quite happy with. Although the work's definitely not done, we're very happy with where the game is at right now. And essentially, the community has helped us get to where we are, and we want to keep that going. And we can't wait to see what other feedback comes in now that we're going to get even more players into the build. And yeah, we plan to fix a lot of things based on what you say. We plan to add a lot of new features based on what you say, and we're probably going to change some of the features we already had in mind based on what's being said. And that said, we're still game designers at heart. We still do like to do things a certain way. We do want to surprise you guys as well. So yeah, I look forward to continuing this back and forth as we get more and more players into the game itself.
Nice. Well, to me, really, like, community means a lot to us. That's why we want the community beta to be out as soon as possible, and here we are. I really like for everyone. I want to really thank you for everyone who already joined our soft launch in the past 2 weeks. You guys really rocket, right? Like, you guys, I saw you guys play, in the game, like at least like 1 hour or 2 hours, and found so many bugs. And it's not only about bug bounty, but it's really like I can feel the passion of everyone who is really love our game, love what we're doing, like love the BLOCKLORDS, this concept, and try to really help out the team there, and report all the issues, or suggestions to us. And for us, me as the producer of the game, we want to also, respond back, right? Like how we did is basically we try to roll out fixes as soon as possible, and try to provide more in-game content as well. Like what we just updated yesterday is the season mission. That's really a lot of hard work, but I think it definitely something like everyone love to see is we providing more goals in the game, and also some rewards that everyone can join the community beta, and in the end you can earn a special hero. And I think this definitely will continue. I think it's very good because everyone playing the game and giving us feedback, and we can also look into our data and see like what's going on and what's wrong with our economy design, which is also very important, right? So yeah, I think it's a really good a relationship between us and the community, and I definitely think we should keep in this way. And we this is what we do right now. It's like we just encourage everyone to just go to blocklords.com, right, and just register account, connect your wallet, Polygon wallet. Now we can get a free hero, and then you can just basically download the client and begin to play. And it's all free, and we looking forward to join our Blocklords journey and help us find more problem and get your own reward.
And then, so additionally, on top of kind of the season rewards and stuff, which we'll get into in a little while, I know the new hero was mentioned in the video. Wanted to talk a little bit about community bounties. So obviously, for all of you that are new, we are using this community bounty to use you guys, the community, to help us build the game. So the best way to get involved in community bounties is to head to the Discord. There's links on all of our channels here. We'll also post this on Twitter, etc. afterwards. So essentially, community bounty was put together here by the team, and it's to reward active players. So if you go in the Discord, there's a list of tasks. They're split down. There's regional ones, so there's regional bounties where a whole region will win a prize. There's ones for lords. There's ones for farmers. There's ones for community activity. You can win. I think it was 100 IMX for making a good meme. So what we're trying to do is really give back to people that are being involved. We want you guys to get in. We want you guys to test. We want you guys to come and join us for this, and we're happy to reward you for that. Like, we really want you guys to get involved and feel like you're part of this. So jump in the community, get chatting, make some memes, get involved in the game, start hoarding resources or keeping none of them. There's a lot of ways to get involved in this, and a lot of the stuff we go through in this deck, you need to get in the Discord to be a part of it. There's some really cool stuff that's going to be happening. So cool. Next up, we wanted to get you guys a little bit. I know we talk about this kind of in brief, but I think we often talk about kind of different types of heroes. But I really wanted to get you guys to kind of break down the character roles and the hero utilities as sort of a role in economy. So we'll start with the villagers, and then there's a little bit after this, and then we'll move on to kind of military, to warriors. So if you want to just give us like a kind of intro to villagers, farmers, hunters, how they fit into the ecosystem and why they're important. And remember, if you want to get one of these guys, go and sign up. You can get one for free.
Exactly. So yeah, if you don't have a hero yet, do join us and get your free hero, because that is the best way to get involved right away. And yeah, essentially we're taking really our hero strategy step by step, but it is all interconnected and linked. And essentially the idea here is that heroes are really the core part of Blocklords. They're the role-playing part, right? They're going to be the characters that you build up as you play. We didn't have anything about that in the community beta, but later on, definitely like choices and gameplay will impact the stats of your hero. It will impact the traits of your hero. And so essentially when we started with the banner system, what we wanted was a system where you had essentially the basics, you had the legacy, and then you had the golds, or the uniques as we call it for now. But you could imagine it as 3 different tiers. And this tier for banners actually goes into the heroes as well. So you have essentially the commoners, right? The basics, and they're basic, but they're still quite good, right? It's better than not having a hero essentially. And they will, and most of you can now actually try it, because in community beta this is a requirement. You will see a pretty significant stat boost when adding a hero to your troops. So even basic heroes do have quite a bit of impact. And so, yes, like you say, we have the villagers, and the villagers are really, you could say, troops that are more generic than others. That means that the 3D models are going to be duplicated. They're all going to have unique names. They're all going to have different stats. So in some ways they're not identical. They still have some characters to it. And we're definitely going to be looking into adding more customization features for villagers later on. But essentially, they're going to be mostly suited for farm work, right? And when I say farm work, I actually mean village work. So we're going to have a series of cooks. We're going to have a series of hunters. We're going to have a series of lumberjacks. Basically, every squad you can imagine will have its own type of hero that's better suited for it. But that's not an absolute, because it's very possible that you have a farmer hero that's actually more suited to being a lumberjack than one of your lumberjack heroes. Again, stats and traits are randomly determined based on presets when they're minted. So yeah, essentially to summarize, villagers are mass-produced heroes that still have their unique names and traits that you can use for the more daily operations, but that might not have as much potential for joining the ranks of nobility as the legacies and uniques will have. So essentially, you could say that they're the commoners of the BLOCKLORDS world.
Amazing. Nikki, have you got anything to add?
Yeah. So yeah, like want me to go through the hunters? So for example, right, like the hunters heroes on Polygon, basically, when we design the hunters, they are still villagers, right? But they are most likely more fit for the hunter squad because their stats and their traits is more, combined. It's much more better if you put them on the commander's slot on the hunter squad. So the hunter squad will hunt better. You will get more meat, and there is always some traits when you're dealing with hunting events. You will have some special options. Although we still haven't implemented that feature into the current community beta version yet, but it's closely done, and maybe the next update we can push that. So basically, your hero traits will sometimes give you a special hero options for the events, right? So, for example, right, like when you're hunting in the woods and there is a wolf battle event happening, and if you have a hunter hero in your hunter squad, and that hunter hero have traits, let's say it's a brave trait, and it will trigger a special option for you and say, okay, this hero can actually lead your squad team to beat that the pack of wolf, definitely 100%, right? And you get a large chunk of rewards. So that's when why hero matters. And the villagers usually they are good at all the different farm activities. That's our villagers heroes.
Great. And so the hunters currently are only available through giveaways. You can pick them up on secondary on the marketplace, on BLOCKLORDS marketplace, or anything that's compatible. But right now, the farmers, which you'll see on the left and on the right, they're the free-to-play characters that everyone's going to get. And then the hunters are a kind of a little bit more special tier, so you'll only be able to get them with giveaways. Speaking of which, we're using today to announce a very special partnership of ours. We've partnered with Exterio. They're good friends of ours and kind of gaming industry veterans. We're really happy to have them on board. And they've launched their beta as well this week. So we're using this partnership to kind of sing each other up. I'm so sorry the GIF isn't working. This is supposed to scroll and show you through the website. Essentially, Exterio is a free-to-play and own game developer. It's published and founded by some of the coolest people in the industry. We're super happy to have them on board. And similarly to us, they want to create deep and rich gaming experiences that are driven and teaching people about ownership. And BLOCKLORDS is now going to be listed on Exterio. You can see it there. There's a cool video that plays. It's very beautiful. Also, alongside this, they have their Exol program. I know there's a lot of people in BLOCKLORDS. You can now go to exterio.com or exterio.io. Exterio. It's hard for me to say. And you can claim your yellow badges. So this program has been created as kind of a unique credential system, right? Which is going to add value, add honor, and show projects what their appreciated communities are. Exol holders will have benefits on the platform. There's going to be airdrops, in-game rewards with different games, the partners, the rest of their roster is very good. We're really happy to have them on board to get involved with this. You can collect 3 badges. You can redeem it for an Exol and go and check it out, get involved. BLOCKLORDS is going to be doing a lot of activity with these guys. There's stuff going on now. I'm sure you've seen the chat. There's a secret code. Go and check out the Twitter. And then what I'd love to do, obviously, is open it up to you, David, and to you, Nikki, just to kind of talk about this partnership, why it's important to us, what these guys are doing that they love, how we align, and then also the Hunter giveaway. So the giveaway, you can go, there's a secret code on Twitter, but I'll hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, Exterio has been a great partner so far. We started working together earlier this year. The team is really full of legends. They're all really absolute legends. The guy who runs it, Michael, like 22 years of experience in gaming, really helped forge the birth of gaming in China. So really great team, great values, great outlook on how Web3 is really going to lead not only the next bull run or anything like that on the market, but really lead the next phase of gaming. And I think what we're seeing in the market in general, the regular gaming market, is mobile gaming is really in a rut. AAA developers are all eating each other up, and I think gamers are just screaming for new experiences. And I think this partnership is a perfect example of the best of both worlds, essentially, and that we're here building products that are going to attract a lot of users, and they're going to keep users in game for a long time, and are going to just encourage users to build communities with each other. I like to use Lord Brutalius. I'm sure he's in the stream as an example, but he's really rallied a lot of the players behind him. And we hope a lot of other lords and ladies in the game are going to do that. And that's what we're doing with Exterio, essentially. We're rallying the troops, and we're ready to fight for the future of gaming and Web3 together.
Yeah, I would say the Exterio team is very few teams that we met who really understand, Web2 gaming and combined with Web3 gaming. It's basically, like David said, they have like 20 years experiences in Web2 area. They have so many, the team back of Exterio, they had so many successful publishing experiments, and also like a very cool, like they have really rich knowledge about strategy game as well. So that's why, we work together very well. We also, always switch, information and show them our development process. So definitely Exterio is a very strong partner that's gonna help us with, reaching to more community, reaching to more players. And Exterio is basically like us. We also like both community driven. So we really want to bring, the goal is very simple. We just want to bring great games to not only Web3 gamer, but also Web2 gamers, that we can attract them to play. And really the fun to play is really the first key points. We want everyone can, come inside, enjoy the game you play, and in the end you really earn something and you begin to step inside the Web3 game world. So that's really it's really a pleasure to working with Exterio and keep pushing for the new products.
Amazing. So thanks, guys. Make sure go and check them out. There's a lot happening over there. Jump in their Discord, jump in our Discord, and then jump into their Discord. Follow them on Twitter. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming up in the next few weeks that we're going to be doing together, and you're going to want to be there to see it. It's super cool. So moving into the next section, we wanted to talk about warrior classes. I wanted to introduce the Seed Guardian. I don't know if you want to do this in a fun voice, David. I know you've got a lot of them, and kind of talk us through. He's preparing, revving up.
Wow.
Kind of talk us through what these characters are going to be, and then what this will progress to. What other warriors and raiders will kind of do within the ecosystem of the game.
All right, so this is the first exclusive in-game hero to be rewarded, and I'll do my cool voice, and I'll do Legacy Militia, Season Reward, the Seed Guardian. The raids kept coming, but this farmer didn't just sit and watch. With a twinkle in their eye and determination in their heart, they trained day and night to transform into a skilled warrior. It's time to swap pitchforks for spears. And yeah, so overly dramatic, but it is how we wanted. That's the vibe right now. And really, this is the phase, right? This is the transition from farming only to actually some form of battle systems. So that is the reward. You gotta play the game a lot. We launched it today, so me and Nikki have been grinding all day, getting that EXP. And yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. So all of the soft launchers were looking for a challenge. This is your challenge here. You're going to need to get that EXP, 10,000 EXP, and claim your militia farmer at the end of the season. The militia farmer will essentially be the first battle squad in BLOCKLORDS. So they are, you could say, a villager unit, a villager hero, but this particular one that you will get from the community beta is actually a legacy one. We didn't actually go too much into detail about the legacy heroes earlier. So what I'll say is this, and there's not going to be a lot of details about legacy heroes until we actually launch the dynasty system, which is a bit later this year. But you could say that if the basic villagers are commoners, the legacy heroes are essentially the nobility, but the diluted nobility. So if anybody's got a chance to claim the throne away from the uniques, it's going to be the legacies. So that's all I'll say for now. And essentially this militia farmer squad is going to be the first battle squad, and we're not quite ready to announce more details about how those first battles will look. They're not quite the raids where you will visit other farms and steal from them, but they are quite fun and they will happen on your farm. And the legacy militia hero is the way to get ready for that. So I strongly urge you to all play the season missions.
Yeah, right. So basically the first battle hero, and as David said, we will have battle squads. And yeah, so although this feature won't be unlocked in the community beta, but it will be in the future versions. And it will, okay, like what I can say is you're gonna have battle in your own farm, right? I cannot say too much, but it will be, not only just events. Right now, if you play the community beta, you will see some events, right? And Hunter is already good at it, right? Hunter is good at, shooting arrows, hunting in the woods, facing some animals. But right now, it's all video content. But in the future version, we will have something which is, we try to make it real time and PvE first. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
it's gonna be exciting.
It's super exciting. I can't wait to spill the beans on that one, but I'll let them get a little bit interested first. So season missions are now live. Season table, we've already talked you through it. You want to get in every day, you want to be playing, you want to be leveling up and collecting EXP. Something else that is an incentive for EXP that we're giving for community beta, which is going to be something very prestigious for BLOCKLORDS in the long run. We'll announce more about this on Discord, but we are starting the BLOCKLORDS Founders Society. We'll do a longer post about this in Discord, how you can get involved. But essentially, the first 100 users, so in order of highest to lowest, the highest EXP that is earned through community beta will earn this special role, which is going to be the BLOCKLORDS Founders Society. You'll have access with a private chat. We'll do private AMAs. There's going to be automatic whitelist privileges for certain mints, and then a bunch of exclusive content, which we'll give you later as we go. But this is going to be something really prestigious. It's only going to run once. It's 100 people. And as we move forward through into the main game, the community is going to grow. People are going to be coming in, and this is something really exclusive. So we do commend you to go to play to get as much XP as you can, because these 100 people will be duly rewarded and thanked for their efforts. Cool. So last but not least on the grand scale of things, let's talk a little bit about uniques. I picked some of my favorites here. I like the one on the left. I think she's super cool and badass. But let's just talk a little bit about how does having a unique hero change your experience in the beginning of the game, kind of the power dynamics and the sort of things that people would be expecting by owning one of these super cool, insanely detailed characters.
Yeah, I mean, unique heroes are really the founding lords and ladies of BLOCKLORDS, right? So during the community beta, during all the betas, you will have to own a unique hero in order to claim a region. So they are quite uncontested in that way, in that they are supreme ruler of the land they choose to land. They can't be unseated. And essentially, during the community beta, the gameplay is quite limited. All they can do is claim the region. They can set the tax rate, and they can claim daily from the city coffers. City coffers is basically the place in the region where the taxes accrue, right? So the more farmers you have, depending on your tax rate, of course, the more wealth will accrue in your city coffers. Now, that's all the features we have for now, but we're working on a lot of other features that will make lords and ladies feel more powerful, and also give them actually a lot of control over the development of the regions. So just kind of broadly listing some of the features we have in the works. We're working on a tavern system where essentially you'll be able to communicate with your settlers and farmers. Some features like sending messages, sending tasks, sending missions. You'll be able to build city buildings. We are transitioning from a 2D map of the cities to an actual 3D map of the cities. It'll be quite static at first, but over time, there'll definitely be a lot of upgrades that you can do to all of the buildings. And of course, different types of buildings will trigger different types of buffs and bonuses for people in your region, right? So it won't just be, and now we've seen kind of some fun community engagement with the lords and farmers, just with the tax rate. So imagine that, but on steroids, with essentially different buildings affecting farmers different ways. There will be the adventure system, which I think we're announcing for the first time here today. The adventure system will allow lords to trigger different events and quests that users will be able to send their heroes on. That'll be a lot of fun and a lot of potential rewards as well. So picking the right lord will become more important. And Nikki, what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting a few systems, I think, for the lords.
You want to mention library? But yeah, that's the city buildings you already covered.
Yeah. We'll have the library where we can have special events. There'll be ways to train. And of course, we are looking at ways that unique hero stats will impact resources and farming and so on and so forth inside of the region. So there's really a lot planned. And the open beta especially will have a lot of upgrades on the lord feature side. There'll be, as mentioned, some battles, but the lords will really be where the open beta where the open beta will be when the unique lords get really interesting. I think that's really the key of it, is like they're the nobility. They're the nobility guaranteed until the launch. They're going to have a lot of time to amass power, amass in-game wealth, become more powerful. And, at some point, we're definitely going to open up systems where they get to compete in a more aggressive way with each other. So, yeah, I do want to say, I know they're hard to get, but we are going to have a lot more events so that community can get them. We're also going to have a lot of giveaways. I know you're gonna do something very soon for a giveaway, Sam. So I won't spoil that. But yeah, essentially, if you're playing BLOCKLORDS now, if you're involved now, I would suggest follow unique heroes and try to get one, because that is essentially the ruling class of the game. And yeah, I'm sure most of you want to be there.
Yeah, David mostly, I think he just covered everything. But what I want to say is Lord is running the city, running the region. And in the future versions, in future features, we're gonna give lords, or let's say the unique heroes, more power to build buildings and do some social gameplay as well. And all those stuff is really affect the whole region. So the keep an eye with your lords. How your relationship with your lords or with your lady, and build up a small community on your own region, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited about these guys. And I think people have really been playing the part. We've got people that have kind of adapted into their lords and lady characters already in the Discord. So there's going to be a big build out there in the community side as well. In terms of you having a unique hero, you're going to get some pretty cool perms and pretty cool features in the community as well, which will be fun to play around with. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Speaking of legendary hero giveaways, there is going to be an official post about this later. It's going to go live first in the Discord and then through the rest of channels. But BLOCKLORDS, alongside Community Beta, and all of the hype that we've had today, the amazing information from these guys, we're giving away our first ever Polygon unique hero, and her name is Polygon. So this is Polygon. It's going to be user-generated content. So we're going to get you guys in the game. We're going to get you guys making memes. We're going to get you guys putting together videos, playing BLOCKLORDS on stream, and we want you to share that with us. And in return for you guys getting involved, we're going to give away this character and probably some pretty good backup prizes as well. So she's beautiful, she's amazing, and I'm really excited. We've been waiting for the right moment to do this, and we want people to kind of come in now and get involved and kind of have a little play for this hero because, as we said, unique heroes are going to be super special, and she's just super cool. She's amazing. So this is kind of where we're at, and then what we're going to go to just as a wrap up. There's a lot of information. No, it's an information overload. Get in the Discord, get in the social channels. This is going to be where the main information comes through. If you have questions, the team is very active. We're happy to jump in. But essentially, what is next? First step, if you're new, go to www.blocklords.com, register an account, connect a wallet, get your free hero, and get into the game. And then, as we go down the line, a bunch of stuff happening this week. Please keep an eye on channels if you want to win some higher tier heroes, if you want to get involved within that stuff. And then I'm going to pass over the baton for the last time before we do a little thank you to our lovely founders here. Thank you for coming and joining us. The community love it when you guys jump in, so it's really nice to have you here as well, instead of just me rambling.
Yeah, we'll switch over to me rambling, but yeah, likewise, we're very happy with the community and all the feedback we've been getting over the last couple of weeks with the soft launch. Yeah, I mean, obviously, making games is hard. I think most people in this industry know it. I think most of our community know it now because they've followed our journey as well. But yeah, it's amazing when people get to play it and when they're interacting with it. And I love the memes. Nikki loves the meme. Whole team loves the meme. We share them pretty much every day. I expect to see a lot of milk memes and maybe a few market memes as well.
The milk memes have already started. If you hop into the Discord after this, there's some good ones floating around in there.
Okay. So I'm sure
milk is great.
Milk is good, and yeah, I mean, just it's amazing. If you're new here, don't be scared. The game might look complicated. It's way less complicated than you think once you really get in. And if you do think it's too complicated, let us know, and we'll do what we can to make it easier to understand, because we do want it to be accessible to new users. And yeah, we hope that this game can be a smooth entry into the world of NFTs, into the world of strategy games. And yeah, just thank you for being here. If you're watching this, please go and register your account and start playing the game. And we can't wait to show more.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you all to being here, and just follow us for the long time, our old fans, or you just new here, just check it out what's going on with the BLOCKLORDS. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, and join our community, go to our website, download our game, just have a try, it's free. And thank you all for all the feedback, and we will just keep on developing the game. We're really gonna value your feedback and suggestions. And also we're gonna have a lot of tons of new gameplay features we are currently working on, and we can't wait to let them release into the real build and facing to our community and let you guys play and experience, give more feedback, found more bugs, right? Also, I want to shout out to our team, to our developer team, and also our QA team. Really great job. We really like, the community beta is, I think it's already a good start. It's gonna be a success, and everyone gonna enjoy this. Also, shout out to Sam and all our marketing people, and you guys really rock and make all these happen, and let more people know us, and let more users, gamers, can enjoy BLOCKLORDS for the very first time. And this is what we want. And thank you all.
Cool. Well, I think that's that. Thank you everyone for coming to the stream. Go to the website if you want to play and you're new. 3 heroes, free access to the game, all that good stuff. And then do jump into the Discord. I know there's going to be 10 million questions because we can say one word to you guys and you'll ask 5 million questions from that. So jump in the Discord. The team's very active. We'll get involved in there. There's some cool stuff coming up as well. Recurring content, talks like this as well that we'll announce at a further point, but where you'll kind of be able to spend actual time with the team, and it's going to be recurring. You're not going to have to wait 3 months for us to randomly throw an event like this. So thank you so much for coming. I'm going to drop us all down. I'm going to leave it running for just a second, otherwise it might freak out and cut out the recording. But thank you so much. See you in Discord. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye, guys.